All right, I want to walk you through this little just in-class assignment. You can also do it at home. Just a very early introduction to ArcGIS Online. So let me you have a piece of paper, getting to know ArcGIS Online, sort of 1 through 9, some basic instructions on how to just get you oriented to this tool. So let's actually start. Let's back up and get you into here. So this is before you have your accounts. So we want to go and we want to do a Google search of ArcGIS, right? And if you do a Google search of ArcGIS, you'll come up with ArcGIS Online. Go ahead and click into there. And notice there's sign in here. Well, you don't have an account yet. And so we want to do this exercise just before we have an account. This is what's public facing, available to people to use. So we're going to go up here in this upper menu. We're going to grab map. And we want to look at what's called the map viewer. And again, it has a sign in over here. So every other time you come into here, once you have your account, you're always going to sign in so that you have full capabilities. Our ability to work in this is very limited if you're not signed into your account. This is what the free publicly available map tool, map viewer is available to people. All right, so, but I do want you to do that first just to kind of learn this in layers. So the very first thing in your assignment, it says, number 1, Google ArcGIS Online. We've done that. Open the map viewer. That's where we are. So you are in number 2. You have completed that. Then it says search for South Lakes High School in the lower right. So if we go down here in the lower right, notice we have a little search right here. I'm going to click that. Up in the upper left pops a window. And we're going to search for South Lakes High School. Here we are. And this should look somewhat familiar to you. So we get a window that pops up. I'm going to go ahead and close that in the upper right. But here we are. This is South Lakes High School, and it should look pretty familiar. The next thing it says is let's change the base map. So this is the base map, and this is the topographic base map. That's kind of like the default one that you're always going to see. We're going to change that to imagery hybrid. So how do we do that? Well, notice here we have a couple of menus. We have a longitudinal menu on the left side, and we have a longitudinal menu on the right side. So your base map that you're looking at is in here. I'm going to go click to more, and I see I have some additional choices. So I can go into base map here, and there's lots of different choices. And what did I say? I said go see imagery hybrid. So you can see you have lots of different things that you can turn your map into, and you can kind of play around with that. We want to grab imagery hybrid. So this is satellite imagery taken at some point. Unclear. It depends on the area. It depends on the zoom level you are as to when this was taken. But here is our South Lakes High School. Great. So that is number 4. So then it says the next thing to do is number 5, find a golf course and add a bookmark. So when we're in here, we can kind of look around and see, like, where do we see a golf course? Oh, we found one right here, Reston South Golf Course, and they're pretty clear, right? You can kind of see the holes and everything right there. So we found a golf course just up to our sort of northwest from school, and we found it, and it says add a bookmark. Well, add a bookmark. What does that mean? Bookmarks are going to be very useful to you in this because bookmarks will mark 2 things, location and also zoom level. So notice I can kind of zoom in to the golf course. I can zoom out. So if I put a bookmark in, and I go back to that bookmark, I can get back exactly to that zoom level and that location. It doesn't hold any other information, just those things. But let's go ahead. We found our golf course. Let's make a bookmark there. So I go over to my 3 dots on the left-hand side. I grab a bookmark, and I want to add bookmark. And I'm going to call it the Reston South Golf Course. And I'm going to add it. So now it's going to live right there, okay? Great, so now I can close this, and I know that that bookmark is there. Okay, so now I can kind of go back to South Lakes High School, and continue on following my directions. All right, now it says search your house and add a bookmark. Okay, well, we can do that. You can go ahead. We're not going to save these, so go ahead, and I will go ahead as an example and put in Starbucks. Starbucks, South Lakes Drive. Because my house is a little bit farther away. All right, so here we go. Here is the Starbucks at South Lakes Drive, and you can put in your house, add a bookmark, or whatever you want, some local place. Bookmark, I'm going to put in Starbucks at South Lakes. Okay. Okay, wait, I'm going to add a bookmark here. I'm going to say South Lakes Starbucks, and I'm going to add it. So now I've got 2 bookmarks, okay? And I am putting that there. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out. So that means if I go somewhere else, let's just kind of move myself away here. I can go back to the golf course. It's going to take me right there. Or I can go back to Starbucks right there. So it's just going to take me to a location and a zoom level wherever I was when I made that bookmark. Okay? All right, now I'm going to go back to here. Okay, it says number 7, zoom in and out. Does it look different depending on how zoomed in you are? So if I zoom, I'm looking here, I'm going to zoom out first. All right, it kind of looks like winter, right? Like there's not a lot of green. Looks like the deciduous trees don't have leaves. Let's see if anything changes. As I zoom in, do I see any differences? Hard to say. Oh, yeah, that does look a little different, right? Like, so once I get really zoomed in, everything kind of got a little bit greener. So see if your house looks any different. You may be able to see, like, if you had a remodel or you have a different car parked or something like that. And notice here we are, we lost the leaves on the trees once I get to that zoom level. So I just want to show you that at different zoom levels, it's different companies providing the satellite imagery for the base maps. So it's just something you can notice. All right, so we got that. Now, last thing I want you to do is I want you to use the measure tool. And we have a measure tool, and we can measure the distance between your house. In my case, I'm using Starbucks as an example, and South Lakes High School. So here we go. I have the Starbucks right here and South Lakes High School over here. So I am going to go find my measure tool. So that's on this right longitudinal menu in map tools. And it's a little picture of a wrench, and I can click on there and look, I have location or I have measurement. So I'm going to grab the measurement tool. Now this doesn't hold the measurement tool. It's literally like taking a ruler and putting it on and measuring. So I know the Starbucks is right here at this corner, right? And I click start to measure by clicking on the map to place your first point. There we are. And notice it's giving me a distance in miles. I can change the units to what I want. And I'm going to go over to the student parking lot here, the front door, and I can see that distance, as the crow flies straight across, not along a road, is 0.6 miles. So the Starbucks is about 0.6 miles. You're measuring it from your house. How far is your house from South Lakes? Okay, and so there we go. We could also do it if we wanted to. We could change it and do it in metric. And so I can also do that. Do it in meters. Do it in all kinds of different things. I can do it in yards, feet, inches, whatever I want. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that, and then you can write it down, write the answer down. What is the distance? Go ahead and write that on your paper. All right. Okay, that's all. That is your introduction to ArcGIS Online.